Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are cracking open the books on DoorDash to figure out how they managed one of the most incredible financial turnarounds we've seen, going from a pretty big loss to a massive profit in just 1 year.
All right, before we dive in, just a quick reminder for everyone, this is all for educational purposes. It is definitely not financial advice. All the numbers and info we're talking about today are pulled directly from DoorDash's public filings. So, here's how we're going to break this all down. We'll start with that huge profit turnaround, the main headline. Then, we'll look at what was firing on all cylinders to make that happen. After that, we'll dig into the balance sheet. That's where the real strategy is hiding. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with the key takeaways for you. Okay, let's get straight to it. Section 1 is all about that big profit turnaround. This is the story behind those numbers that really made everyone's heads turn. I mean, really, think about this for a second. How does a company go from being in the red by $38 million 1 year to making a profit of $723 million the next? A swing that big is just wild, and it tells you something major must have changed. And this, right here, this slide says it all. You can see it clear as day. 2024 on the left, a $38 million loss. Then you look at 2025 on the right, a staggering $723 million profit. That's not just a small step forward, that is a complete 180. And that number, that operating income, is super important. Basically, it's the profit a company makes just from its main business, in this case, connecting you with food and other stuff. It tells you if the core of the business, the day-to-day operations, is actually making money. And for DoorDash, the answer is now a resounding yes. Okay, so how did they do it? You don't just accidentally find yourself with that kind of profit. Let's move on to Section 2 and find out what was fueling this incredible turnaround. Where did all this new money come from? So to really understand their growth, you need to know this one term, Marketplace GOV, which stands for Gross Order Volume. It's really simple. It's just the total dollar value of everything that gets ordered on the DoorDash app. It's the best measure of just how much action the platform is seeing. And wow, here's where things get really crazy. In the final stretch of 2025, that order volume just exploded, up 39% from the year before. That's not just steady growth, that is some serious acceleration. It's like they hit the nitrous button.
And all those extra orders, well, they added up. They translated directly into a whopping $13.7 billion in total revenue for the entire year. That's the money DoorDash actually collected from all that activity. And you can really see the jump when you look at it this way, from $10.7 billion in 2024 all the way up to $13.7 billion in 2025. That $3 billion leap in a single year, that is the roaring engine we were talking about. All right, now we're going to dig a little deeper. Let's talk about the balance sheet. This is where things get really interesting because this is where you stop looking at what happened and start understanding why it happened. It's where you see the company's long-term game plan. Okay, just focus your eyes on these two lines here, intangible assets and goodwill. They absolutely exploded from 1 year to the next. I mean, one went up by more than 4 times and the other more than doubled. This is not normal day-to-day business. Something big was happening behind the scenes. So what in the world are intangible assets? Well, they're exactly what they sound like. They're valuable things a company owns that you can't, physically touch. Think of a powerful brand name, a massive list of loyal customers, or some really smart proprietary technology.
And goodwill is kind of similar. I love this analogy. Imagine you buy the most popular pizza shop in town. You're not just paying for the building and the ovens, right? You're paying extra for their famous secret recipe, all their devoted customers, and their awesome reputation. That extra you pay, that's goodwill. So where did DoorDash get all this new goodwill? Well, it didn't appear out of thin air. It came from a very clear strategy, buying other companies. In fact, if you look at their reports, they point directly to some major acquisitions, including their massive purchase of the European delivery company Deliveroo. And here's the price tag. The cash flow statement, which tracks where the money actually goes, shows they spent an eye-watering $4.15 billion buying other companies in 2025. They are spending big because they're playing a long game, aiming to build a global empire. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. Let's bring this all together and put it in simple terms, especially for anyone who might be new to looking at company financials. What does this all actually mean? Here's the bottom line. First, profitability is finally here.
DoorDash's main business is officially making serious money. Second, their growth is incredibly strong. More people are ordering more stuff. Third, a huge part of their strategy is buying growth by acquiring competitors like Deliveroo. And fourth, all that goodwill you see on the books, that's them betting big on a future as a truly global platform.
And that leaves us with one big final question. They've proven they can be profitable, they've spent billions to get bigger, so what's the next hurdle? What do they have to do now to prove that this massive, expensive bet on global expansion is actually going to pay off? That's what we'll all be watching for next.
Hey, if you found this breakdown helpful, do us a favor and hit that like button, and make sure you subscribe for more explainers just like this one. Thanks for watching!